It's Polynesian power. Big, fast, strong, dominating. We're seeing it in rugby, league, netball. In our national games, they're taking our teams to the top. But at what cost? In 10 years' time, in stadiums like this, will it be the Europeans sitting in the stands watching the brown sporting stars performing on the field?
I think I would have been an obsolete player if I was still playing.
Former All Black Norm Hewitt says it's already happening.
I just would not fit the mould of the athletic type player they're looking for now. And predominantly they're young and the Polynesian are Māori and they're taking over.
You can tell the story through just one position, All Black winger. From Little Grant Batty to Terry Wright to John Kerwin to Jonah and now Joe.
Team full of Jonahs. Imagine that. You know, what would people pay to come and see something like that? It's hard to comprehend, yet I think it's a reality. It's just a matter of time.
And here is the future. Meet Sal Mulavai and Hami Lawaki, two unknown Polynesian boys from the same Auckland school, Kelston Boys. You won't know their names, but in a few years you may be cheering them on as they score for the All Blacks and the Kiwis. Hame is 19, 6 foot, 104 kilograms, and a hot prospect for the Warriors. Sal Mulavai is 6'4", 122 kilos, and at 18, he's already bigger than fellow number 8, All Black Jerry Collins. Legend Michael Jones has tipped him for greatness, and Norm Hewitt says boys like Sal are the future.
How can you go past somebody who's 6'4", 122 kilos in comparison to a 5'4", skinny white boy? And it's not to be derogatory or racism or racist towards that. It's just the reality of where this game's going.
It's not until you get up close, and you are a skinny white boy, that you appreciate the size and power of these young men. Why are you guys so good?
Because you want to be it. Yeah, big, tough, and got the strength. I mean, you want to do it. That's why they're going far. And that's why heaps of Islanders are playing rugby.
This is your only chance, your last chance.
The dominance of Polynesian players in school rugby is not new. There's something about such a physical team sport that attracts these Islanders.
The team that you're playing with is like a family, you know, brothers, you know, they're always by your side. You know, they're always supporting you, even if you're hurt, they'll pick you up. And if you fall down, they'll pick you back up. Yeah.
But it's not just about playing for the fun and camaraderie. Now they are playing for money. Sal Mulavai's family doesn't see rugby as just sport. Do your family see it as a way of making money?
Yep.
They do?
Yeah.
They want you to make some bucks out of rugby?
Yeah, yeah. And they think that, you know, you get a lot of money from it. Yeah.
So they're happy for you to try and be a professional rugby player?
Yeah, mine, yeah.
If you did get a lot of money from rugby, what would you do with it?
Spend it on family, charity.
These successful sport peoples bring bread to the table.
Kahu Baron Afiaki, a sports lawyer who's writing a book on the modern Polynesian athlete.
The fact that they can translate the previous warrior into another important role in the modern times is really important.
Once were warriors, and now they've found a new role.
Absolutely. It's it was only 150 years ago that they were involved in mortal hand-to-hand combat. Highly agile, very powerful physiques, and now that same high level of agility and power is now being expressed on the new battlefield.
But why is it that Polynesians are so suited to modern contact sport? How do they get to be so big, so powerful, and so agile? The answer lies here. But it's not the heat or the diet of these idyllic isles. It's the cold and the wet. Yes, sounds absurd, but not according to former Professor of Anatomy at Otago University, Philip Horton.
These people were moving across what is in fact effectively the coldest climate that Homo sapiens got into. And that's because you're dealing with a wet, cold environment with the wind chill factor and people living on small islands and doing a lot of exploring and journeying and surviving just from canoes.
According to the professor, Polynesians had neither the clothing nor the technology to keep warm, so they evolved.
It meant that to survive, they had to build up their muscle mass to keep warm, and the particular type of muscle fibre that you need for shivering and even a degree of physical activity is what's called the fast twitch. So they had to, over the generations, as they settled the Pacific, just build that up more and more.
And so we have the amazing Polynesian physique, portrayed here by Samoan artist Andy Tauafiafi. Masses of fast-twitch muscle fibre combined with huge body mass.
It means that they're superbly adapted for sports that require sudden muscle activity, that is fast sprinting, sudden force.
I don't know where she pulled that one from.
Sudden strength in any particular field.
Is it true that the Polynesian race is the biggest race on Earth?
In terms of muscle mass, muscularity, and to some extent height, yes.
Is it really that scary?
It is when you see the way they go into the tackles. I mean Harrison's a very fast runner, as is Mitchell at the moment, but I just think unless they're going to be able to bulk up themselves, it's just that tackle, the necks, all those sorts of things. I mean, the neck, you can never heal the neck.
The size of Polynesians is a big worry for parents like Sue Nash. She has 3 boys, 9-year-old Harrison, Mitchell, 6, and 4-week-old baby Regan. The family's into soccer. Like many, Sue Nash just feels it's safer for her boys. Have you found that soccer is becoming more and more popular?
The number of children there on a Saturday morning has just grown. Every year we're getting bigger and bigger, and I mean there's up to 700 midgets running around on a Saturday morning at Keith Hay Park, and it's absolutely fantastic.
700 midgets. What kind of midgets are they? European, Asian, Polynesian, Māori?
The majority would be European. Large majority would be European.
Soccer is popular. In the last 5 years, club membership has grown by 30,000 to more than 100,000 members. It's the top sport for young people, sparking claims of white flight from rugby and league.
Talking to a lot of the parents down at Three Kings, yes, there are. Harrison's class, I mean, majority do play soccer compared to rugby, and that's one of the major reasons that we as mothers have discussed is the hard-hitting, the tackling side of it, the broken necks, and it's just one wrong tackle that can cause a major injury. So that's a biggie for all of us.
After soccer, rugby union is the second most popular sport with kids. Overall club membership is higher, but not growing. Rugby league membership is in decline. But for these potential All Whites, the high profile of the All Blacks and the Warriors means parents like Sue will one day face a hard decision. What are you going to say to Harrison if he comes to you and says, "Mum, I want to play rugby"?
I think we'll talk about the pros and cons for both, and if he really wants to do that and that's where his heart is, then we'll follow that with him. But it's going to be a toughie.
How do you think we should help the white kids on the rugby field?
Why would you want to put them in front of somebody that could physically damage them for the rest of their life? Not just psychologically, but physically. So
these soccer mums, their worries are justified.
Oh,
they have a real reason for keeping their boys and girls away from this.
Absolutely. You imagine facing 15 Jonas.
So big and so good, there's now a production line of Jonas coming over from the islands. The players are brought in to play for their school first 15, star in the NPC or for the Warriors. Some critics say we're a colonial power robbing the Pacific Islands of their talent.
Rodriguez! Blanco for the corner!
French all-time great Serge Blanco has accused the All Blacks of a shocking breach of rugby traditions. Take a country like New Zealand, he says, and count the number of native New Zealanders on the team. There are Samoans, Fijians, Tongans, but hardly any native-born blacks. The English have also taken a shot. The London Sunday Times labelling the All Black team the United Nations of New Zealand. The irony is, while these countries accuse New Zealand of poaching, they too are trying to do the same thing, and we can't match the contracts they're offering. Does it mean that we are wasting a resource that's at our fingertips?
I think we're certainly not nurturing and developing a resource that is at our fingertips. Particularly Auckland has the biggest Polynesian city in the world, and I look around and I just think, what are you doing, New Zealand? And we just take it for granted. But again, like any story of taking something for granted, once it's lost, you suddenly wake up and go, "Ooh, where's that gone?" Yeah.
Already, we are in danger of losing them. Remember 18-year-old Sal Mulavai. New Zealand-born, Samoan parents, and now heading overseas. He's been picked up by scouts for a 6-month contract to an English First Division side. Are you very young to be getting a contract with an English club?
Yep. I am.
You are?
Yeah.
Why do they want you?
Not sure, they just probably saw how big I was, sort of thing.
If you were offered a lot of money to play in England, would you take it instead of playing for the All Blacks?
Prefer to play for the All Blacks. Yeah.
Why is that?
The term. So, yeah, I've always seen that black jersey since I was a little kid. Yeah, and hopefully one day I would wear that silver fern. But
relying on the dream of being an All Black, or a Kiwi, or a silver fern may not be enough to keep the talent here.
I am absolutely certain that once particularly the American sport world wake up and across the board as a nation recognise the extraordinary levels of athleticism of the Polynesian, then the clock starts ticking for New Zealand.
1687, her best so far.
And I'll tell you what, America writes the Bible on sport. That is the best sport development machine in the world. And if Polynesians could go through there for athletics, rugby, NFL, whatever, then be it so.
So whether it's rugby, league, netball, or even sports Polynesians have yet to conquer, will all our national games become our national brown games? So are we looking at a Polynesian sporting master race?
There are too many overtones in that to answer. They're certainly going to be very significant force, and in many, perhaps in fields that they haven't even entered yet, that they've hardly touched on.
People forget there's only about 2-odd million Polynesians in the whole world. That's it. It's a very tiny proportion of the total world's population, and yet that tiny little number can displace some of the highest ranked positions in many, many sport codes in the world. That is extraordinary.
Good or bad, maybe brown is just the way it's going to be. And if it means watching our best athletes win the World Cup, then bring it on.